Hello and welcome. It is yet another A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast.
Woo.
We're doing the Enterprise thing now because Chris told us to.
The order of shows told us to.
That's true. We did TAS. This is still better than TAS, but still Enterprise so far. Little sloggy, little inconsistent. These two episodes, just the same. The two episodes we are covering this week on our episode 320.
Woo!
Which is quite a lot of episodes.
Very many.
These are The Andorian Incident and Breaking the Ice. As usual, as just has always been forever and ever, amen, this is Ames.
This is Caitlin.
This is Chris.
Jake.
You skipped Jake.
I did.
It's fine. Jake is fine. Jake is here.
Sorry, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. No one gives a shit.
The points don't matter. It's fine.
So I noticed that some of our audience are keeping, on one of their fan sites, a record of when we go out of order, which I find amusing.
Yes. It's Chris. It's Chris that does it.
Wow.
All right, so these two episodes. So apparently it's like Archer cannot do diplomacy week here on SSHB. Let's kick it off with just being the worst to Vulcans in the Andorian Incident. So we're flying around and Archer notices a Vulcan monastery. It's called Pajem, and it's up ahead, and he tells T'Pol, I want to visit that monastery. And T'Pol's like, that'd be a bad idea because it's monastery and you can't just drop in on religious sites because that's rude as fuck, Archer. Would you do this to the Dalai Lama? Actually, he probably would. And Archer would have none of it. He really wants to go down there and see the Stone of Jakar so bad. So he and Trip and T'Pol drop in unannounced. They barge into their temple when no one answers because the door is busted. And the monk that's standing there is like, dude, we're praying. It's prayer time. It's always prayer time here on Pajem. So keep it short and polite and quiet. And Archer's like, fucking no! Archer will still have none of it.
All over the place in here.
And he's strutting around, and he pokes his grubby hands on the stone of Pajem, and he's generally rude to this monk and a suspicious jerk who really shouldn't have this job, guys. He's kind of the worst at this job of meeting new people.
He was that rude.
I found him terrible.
I found him as exactly how I'd expect human beings to be trying to visit a tourist location in space, but it wasn't a tourist location.
We'll get to it. I hated him in this scene. But it all comes to a head because, he notices this Andorian hiding somewhere. And everyone gets taken hostage by Commander Shran. That's right, it's the introduction of Commander Shran. So at least something came out of this episode? Alright. So Shran says, we're checking out to make sure this monastery isn't hiding some kind of sensor array, which would be in violation of our treaty. And the monk is like, gee, thanks, Archer. They would have just come here, looked around, found nothing, as they would do, and left. But now that you're here mucking up the works, prepare for the torture, bitch. So Shran tortures Archer for a while. And eventually the Vulcans relent and they say, since you got your face beaten to shit, we'll show you that there's a phone in our catacombs. If you don't mind walking by dozens of corpses first. And Trip's
lots of spider webs.
Trip's like, I'm there.
Spider webs.
Can I also go play in your reliquary full of your most breakable of artifacts? And they're like, no, Trip, stay out of there. That's not for you. Skip ahead. Archer goes into the torture room again because he wants to test a theory that there are 3 lights that Trip saw in a triangle. And he's like, it's a triangle. Therefore, it's the face.
It's Olmec.
Thanks, Trip. And Archer thinks it's the face in the torture room, so he's going to go and double check that that's what it is, I guess. I think that's what happened. It was unclear to me. And of course it is the face that, Trip saw in the fucking lights, and yay. So Reed beams down just in time to crash through that wall, start a firefight, utterly destroy everything in the sacred site, in the catacombs, in the crypt. in the reliquary, in the room hiding the long-range sensor. Wait a minute! Wait a minute! You guys do have a long-range sensor array. You guys!
You naughty Vulcans.
Freaking lying Vulcans, am I right? And they're made out to be so bad. Way worse than these hyper-violent Andorians who kept saying they wanted to rape T'Pol.
Dude,
but
so much. What the fuck?
Hey, but at least they didn't lie. The end.
Okay, so I have to defend Archer here.
Oh boy.
Oh, don't even bother, because I hate his guts.
The reason he was doing that in that scene, though, was because T'Pol was like, something is wrong.
Yeah, but you don't act like it.
Oh, well, that's true, but...
Like, I could see...
But the reason he was being so ridiculous was to buy time.
Imagine Kirk, when he walks into if he were dealing with a species who he already knows has a different culture than him, and he thinks, I have to drag this out so I can figure out if something's wrong, he would be respectful about it at the very least.
Yeah, right. He'd be fucking balls deep in somebody.
Being fair,
but
it's also...
respectfully balls deep.
Oh, okay.
It's easier for Kirk to drag things out because of the way he talks.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a line, I think it was when, he gets to poke the rock of whatever the fuck, briefly.
Gibraltar.
And, yeah, after T'Pol says, oh yeah, we should see the rock at least while we're here. The guy brings out the rock, Archer storms right past him. The guy gives...
He touches the rock. He does touch it first.
He touches it after.
Does he? Oh.
He touches it after. He storms by first, looks around, comes back, pokes the rock. The Vulcan gives a little spiel in Vulcan, and I think the line is, what does all that mean anyway?
Yeah.
And it's like, I fucking hate you.
Same. I was really annoyed
He's
at
bad
that
at buying
as well,
time.
actually.
The one complaint I had was like, because I didn't mind. I'm like, fine, he's buying time, I get it. But couldn't he have found a way to tackle the Andorian without destroying the 3,000-year-old changing screen?
Fucking amateurs.
What fun would that be?
But then again, there's a very good chance all this shit was fake and bought from a Christmas tree shop, because apparently they have chickens and horses on Vulcan.
I just don't know why you find it that hard to imagine that they would have these things.
Yeah, every planet has the same equivalents of every animals on Earth.
But I don't know that we've ever seen horses off of Earth.
Yeah, Star Trek V.
Fuck.
It did have a little unicorn horn, but it was a horse.
I don't know. There was like a scene where Trip is standing in front of a chicken statue, and I'm just like, really? And then later there's a horse statue,
Well,
and I'm
I
like...
mean, they keep having all these bipedal humanoids show up. Why would they not have...
Yeah, it's all from the chase. When they seeded the planet, they seeded for the animals too.
Also, they had very clearly just taken, like, generic Asian statues and put Vulcan ears on them.
Woof.
Because, again, Orientalism is still very strong in most depictions of Vulcans.
Perhaps their friends got their ears caught in a rice picker.
Wah.
But yes, I had a lot of issues with some of the set decoration. It's like, you didn't have to have an animal there at all. Didn't have to have a person there.
Yeah, but they had to have something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they could have found trinkets that weren't people and animals.
Wow.
That's very specific, Chris.
Chris is feeling really bent out of shape.
When's the last time you were at a religious site, Chris? They love people and animals.
It's a Vulcan religious site. They could have different things.
Yeah, they could have vegetables.
In fact...
Minerals.
Not that we've seen a ton of them, but from what little we have seen of Vulcan sites in the past, there haven't been depictions of people and animals.
I did like that their robes did look a little like the ones you see in Search for Spock.
That is true. That was a good touch.
Yeah, actually, the first scene, in the teaser, where it's just them walking around their monastery and then Andorians show up, I was first thinking, yes, these robes look right for Vulcans.
Yep.
And then, did we need this teaser? Would it have been more interesting if we just launched in not knowing that there had been Andorians at the monastery?
Oh, fuck no. No, there needed to be something. It's Enterprise. There's too much nothing in this fucking show. They had to let us know something was actually going to be fucking happening. Also, I love T'Pol. Well, it's a 3,000-year-old door. Okay, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to see that is recent damage, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on. We're not that stupid.
Must touch the little tail. Touch that tail. Oh my god, it's so cute.
If I keep this in, our cat Hades is visible on the Zoom. And he really wants to walk on my keyboard.
Oh, he's so cute.
He's the cutest.
Um,
Cutest.
What did you think, Jake? Because I'm mostly angry. Chris, it feels compelled to stand up for Archer. What do you think?
I don't know. I wasn't that bothered by this one. Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but I don't know. I like the introduction of the Andorians.
Mm-hmm. Didn't need the rapist one. Hated him.
no, fuck that guy.
Oh, yeah,
that
guy
wasn't great.
sucked.
Didn't like that.
Thank God it was not Shran, at least, though.
Yeah, seriously, we can't have another Quark situation here.
Yeah.
I want to like Shran
yeah.
someday. If he was a rapist, that would make me upset.
Really, though, honestly, like, for all that Archer fucked up, Reed was just like, just so we know, I'm bringing explosives.
Right. His first, when I forget if they'd even gotten in touch with Trip yet, and he's like, I think they must have because they mentioned Andorians. And it was when Tran talked with Reed and said everyone's being held hostage by the Andorian Imperial Guard or what have you.
Yeah.
And Reed's like, everyone, get ready to get down there right now. Grab all the weapons, do all these things. Hoshi, research Andorians. I'm like, great, that's number 5 on your list of things to do.
How
Moron.
excited was he when he was reading it and got to militaristic? Because he was like, oh, that means I'm allowed to shoot them.
In the middle of a religious site and destroy everything utterly.
Hoshi, you're in charge. I'll be in my bunk.
Woof.
Reed loves violence.
Yeah. So, moving on from Reed, what did y'all think of the design of the Andorians? We really haven't seen much of them on Star Trek.
They're clearly hiding the mechanism that moves the antennae under their foreheads.
Yeah, that's why their foreheads have gotten so big, I said the same thing.
They're almost as big as the one we saw in TNG in The Offspring.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that the Deedly Bops move, like, kind of way too much.
Yes.
It was very distracting.
What is their purpose? Are they sensory organs? Like, what are they telling them?
What is the purpose
They
of any
move around
antennae?
to let them know that they have a boner. Like, hey, just so you know, Shran, you are fully erect.
We do eventually find out they at least play some part in equilibrium.
Okay.
But aside from that, I don't think they've ever said specifically what they're for.
Yeah, I thought Trip made an ass of himself when he was like, "What? You can't scan to see if this equipment you're looking for is here with those antennae of yours?" I'm like, Trip, you have no idea what antennae do.
I also thought that was stupid. I was like,
have you seen an ant before, asshole?
I kind of hated Trip in both these episodes. I feel like I was belittling him throughout this entire episode, was I not?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I was like, shut the fuck up, Trip.
Yeah, well, I was just shut the fuck up, Archer.
Yeah, same.
Just the worst. Just
everybody
the worst.
should shut the fuck up, all of them, really.
Especially the Vulcans.
But especially the humans.
But especially the Andorians.
But especially us on this podcast.
This has been a short episode.
I do get the urge to show, and I think this is something that Braga wanted to do with this show, is show that we're not really good at this yet. We still don't know all the things that characters in past but future series would know. And we're winging it by the seat of our pants every week. I get that. I still don't know how Archer got this job.
Nepotism.
Yeah,
no, wait,
you're right.
That was Trip. No,
that's Archer.
It was Archer, right? Yeah.
But when you think about a lot of religious sites on Earth, I feel like so much of it is just tolerating rude tourists because you want their money. Now, the Vulcans don't want Archer's money. So they should have just neck pinched him and thrown him out the door, but...
Yeah, but there's religious sites that you also don't allow outsiders in.
That's true, but apparently you're allowed to show up at Pajem as long as they're not in the middle of mass Kolinar.
They didn't even put it on their map because they didn't want people showing up.
Well,
was on the map.
Given that it turns out that it's actually just a cover for a espionage site, there's other reasons why they didn't include it in their maps.
Oh, I might be mistaking a different thing that wasn't in the map.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure they saw it on the map.
I think you're thinking of the comet.
Or the protostar.
There was a protostar. Yeah.
Which, for all we know, didn't, because if it's a protostar, maybe it didn't exist when they first made the map.
It's true. Could be that new.
Or the protostar is also a cover for some sort of espionage operation.
Truth.
Because Vulcans are fucking liars.
Or it's the Protostar, and it's those dang kids from Prodigy.
Yay! Save Star Trek Prodigy.
Yeah, I do feel
Save Prodigy.
I feel like when this show came out, I remember like people were upset like by the depiction of Vulcans. But
no,
really,
they're consistent.
Yeah, I mean, we've watched everything that led up to this. Vulcans suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're just basically just being space dicks, which seems to kind of be their thing.
Like, Spock is probably, like, the exception, and even he has moments.
And he's half human.
Yeah, and he's been hanging out with humans for a very long time.
Yeah. So it's just
and
like,
he's in love with a human.
They're jerks. I mean...
Bones?
Seems pretty consistent. I think people just mostly think about Spock. It's like, yeah, Spock, okay, but think of every other Vulcan we've met. There was Captain Racist Prick from Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm.
And,
T'Pau.
Well, we didn't know much about her. She was just stoic.
We knew in Amok Time that she didn't tell Kirk that this was a fight to the death when he signed up for it.
True.
That's kind of dickish.
True. Yeah, Vulcans, like we said with Spock, they all play things way too close to the vest. There were at least a couple of prick Vulcan admirals. Like, not evil, just assholes. You know, it's just, Vulcans are the worst.
Oh, you know who else I'm still finding the worst? Fucking Phlox.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Archer.
Yeah.
Oh my god. How hard are they trying to, like, shoehorn him into a Neelix-shaped space? It's not gonna work. He doesn't have... Listen, this is coming from me.
He's off-putting. He's an off-putting man.
Super off-putting, because it's like, his tone is universally condescending. Like, he never sounds like he wants to have a nice chat. He's always like, not enjoying your human food.
I'm gonna just take really celery off your plate and eat it. And then ask after the fact if I can have some.
Yeah.
There's a definite, like, creepy guy I don't want to hang around with vibe to him, and like the way he smiles and everything. Yeah. He's like that guy that you work with that if you're in the coffee room at the same time as him, you just kind of want to get your shit and go.
Yeah.
Like, you see him enter the elevator and you're like, I'm taking all of the stairs.
Like, I think...
working hard or hardly working?
That's him.
Wow,
that's Fox.
is he Colin Robinson?
Yeah!
Do you guys watch what we do in the shadows?
Yeah, we do.
We're finally watching it.
We're
Yay!
like season 3.
Yeah, Phlox is a fucking energy vampire.
You're right. I love it.
Is.
That's perfect.
Like, I feel like maybe they're trying to go for, like, a show don't tell of just, like, Denobulans are a way too open culture, but they're just making him off-putting. There's got to be a better way to do it than what they're doing right now.
Yeah, get Neelix.
Yeah, the fact that T'Pol says, like, I don't like hanging around humans, they smell, all this thing, which, frankly, we do, we get it. And she hangs out with Phlox a little bit in this episode, and he, is haranguing her, like, oh, you don't hang out with the humans, I see. But you hang out with me, who's even further in the opposite direction of Vulcans than them.
Well, but maybe he doesn't smell at all. Like, maybe
that's
his species doth not sweat.
Well, here's the thing. There's at least some common ground in that they're both not human.
That's true.
And at the very least, for all that he's a pain in the ass, he's not gonna be constantly racist at her.
Yeah. Oh, God, when fucking Archer says to somebody, I'm all ears, no offense, fellas.
They're not
Ferengi.
They wouldn't have known to be offended by that until you said no offense.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I wonder how it translated. This is where we get into that thing about how universal translators, like, do they literally say, I'm all ears in, like, Vulcan, or do they try to, like, make it into a similar idiom so they would understand it?
Yeah, I'm hearing that. I hear what the Spock's cooking.
Like,
Wow.
Nice.
I don't know what just happened there.
It was magic.
Oh, fuck, I wish the Spock Blogtivity hadn't already gone live. I would insist you make that the title.
Aw, rats.
Fuck, okay, someone keep that in your back pocket from when we get to either the Kelvin timeline
Discovery.
or Plush Trek. I need to use that as a title. And he'll be back then.
Aw.
Fuck, I derailed this, I apologize.
You're good.
We were just talking about how Phlox is off-putting. No, we moved past that?
Yeah, we were talking about what? Oh, all ears. Yeah, no, I feel like
Yeah.
you would say no offense if you'd said that in a room full of Ferengi.
Exactly, yeah. And I think they have
Vulcans.
before, too.
Well, but also, I don't feel like you would say no offense, because being all ears is like a huge deal for the Ferengi. They love having big lobes.
I don't think Archer would say no offense, because Archer always seems to intend to offend.
Well, that, and even by the time of, like, 24th century Starfleet, remember, it's okay to be racist against Ferengi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It is. It's the dirty little secret of Star Trek. There's always somebody it's okay to be racist against, even in Star Trek. It's fucked up.
And it's probably awkward.
Speaking of things that are awkward, I didn't quite follow, and I had to ask Jake to explain what was going on with this 3 lights thing.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
because it wasn't clear at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, because when you say, oh yeah, I saw 3 lights shaped like this, I think I missed seeing the 3 lights in the wall, so that didn't help me either.
Well, they also did the crossfade to make it more plain.
Oh, and that was too obvious. That was just... I think that was just showing the audience, like me, who didn't get it, what was going on, but I just thought it was a dumb crossfade.
Same.
And then Archer says to Shran, I'm ready to talk to you alone. But then all the other Andorians go with him, and none are left watching the hostages.
No one's ever with the hostages.
They're
Yeah, it's terrible.
idiots.
Very bad at this.
They're real bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Militaristic, but dumb.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I could tell you what I think of Shran yet, just because,
He's barely in it.
yeah, he's not yet a presence, which
His
seems...
better episodes come later.
Yeah, which
Hey, but
seems
he
odd
gets
because it's
points.
Jeffrey Combs, and he's always a presence.
Yeah.
Well, again, he does get points for not being the rapey one.
Yeah, the rapey one needs to die.
Yes. Yeah, I'm here for that.
Painfully.
My last note that I wrote is, who died and made Archer, can't read my handwriting, Archer king of both Andoria and Vulcan, and that he can just decide, well, Vulcan broke this treaty, I'm gonna storm in with my cock out and say, hey, let's tell all the Andorians and, let's shed light on all of this. It's like, dude, this had nothing to do with you at all.
Also, T'Pol doesn't even object. He's like, does this seem okay with you? And she's just kind of like...
She has no
"Duh."
lines. She has no lines for, like, the last couple scenes of the episode.
She didn't look happy when she saw the room.
She never looks happy. She's T'Pol.
Yeah, that's true.
In a specific way.
Yeah.
Clearly, I believe even she was taken aback by this.
I couldn't tell because it was just her normal face, I thought.
Well, that's the thing, too. It's like, it's hard to tell. Is she taken aback, or is she just mad that they figured it out and now she looks like a liar?
Or
I
is
don't
it
think
just
she-
Jolene Blaylock thinking, look pissed, look pissed, look pissed. Done. Next scene.
Oh, do
I-
you think you think that's intentional on her part?
I assume T'Pol doesn't know either. I feel like this is very classified.
But what does Jolene think?
She thinks that she's fucking coming and stealing your man.
Damn it, I was about to say that.
Well, you gotta be pretty quick around here.
Mm.
Like Jolene.
Hey, did I have any notes on this that were interesting? Let's find out. Oh, it was directed by Roxanne Dawson. Her first
Oh, cool.
of 10 episodes in Enterprise.
Wow.
Nothing
Oh,
wrong with the
wasn't-
directing, I thought, so.
Wasn't one of last week's LeVar Burton, and did we
Yes.
remember to mention that?
We
I
did.
think we did.
Good.
Pretty sure we did.
Uh,
Oh, here we go. Here's a good note.
Otherwise, I don't know how I would know.
Originally, the villains in this episode were going to be the Gorn, but the writers eschewed that because they assumed the Gorn couldn't talk, even though in Arena the Gorn totally talks.
he does. I mean, through a weird translator dealy, but they do talk.
I mean, I don't blame them not wanting to touch the Gorn, especially that era of Gorn.
But when we see how they do decide the Gorn should look,
Oh,
when
yeah,
we see
they-
a Gorn in a few seasons.
They are going to do it eventually, so.
Oh no!
Get
Thank
prepared.
God they went with Andorians. Also, just makes more sense, It's like, oh, we know these guys all eventually get together and found the Federation. Let's see how they were. Oh, not good. Not good. Oh, God.
Did they know that they were founding members at that time, or did Enterprise come up with it eventually?
No, I think it had already been established by this point.
Yeah, I thought
Okay.
it was established in Journey to Babel.
Was
Yeah,
it?
I just
Okay.
knew there were a
There's-
bunch of people like hanging around for Journey to Babel. I didn't know
Yeah,
if
it was-
they were the founding members.
I think that they talk about it because it's the Tellarites, the Andorians, the Vulcans, and the people, humans, right?
Who was the
Yeah.
pretty blue girl? Who were the short gold men?
Oh, there were other people too, but I think that might be when they established who the founding members had been. Maybe.
I do not remember.
Neither do I.
Pretty
Maybe-
gold men?
Maybe
Oh,
I'll
I'm talking
rewatch
about-
Journey to Babel.
Do worse things, like watch the next episode.
See, this is the one I hated less, and I think It's because there's an interesting T'Pol story in here.
I mean, I concede that there is a T'Pol story.
There is a T'Pol story in here, and the thing is, like, most of these other episodes, they haven't had anything for any of the characters that were interesting. So
that's true.
Let's move on to Breaking the Ice. Here's my synopsis. Let's see, we're flying around. My standard opening every time.
Synopsis.
We come across this huge comet commoning around, and it seems to contain a bunch of icelium, this mineral that even the Vulcans might be interested in. And they're interested in so few things that Archer has to be racist about it all the fucking time. So let's go in and have a snowball fight on the comet. So here we go. Archer gets his panties in a twist when he sees a Vulcan ship, the Timur, has dropped by to observe, and its captain Vanek is your typical high and mighty Vulcan snob. So Archer's already prepared to be a dick. And to make matters worse, he sees that, oh noes, they sent a coded message to T'Pol and they're not supposed to. How dare they? And instead of asking about it, or like confronting T'Pol, he just says, hey, Hoshi, decode the thing and we'll read it in front of her with mocking voices and laugh hysterically. But then for some reason, Hoshi can't read Vulcan for reasons, and she's like, hey, the message is in Vulcan.
She chooses not to.
I think it's because the writers didn't want to have a scene with two women in it. But that's just
Ouch.
me. Woof. But
no, she did also say she didn't want to read the letter there. She did say, like, specifically.
Fine. So she hands it off to Trip, and Trip agrees to read the letter, and he realizes, fucking hell. This isn't Vulcan tomfoolery that we could all point and laugh about. It's just a normal letter to T'Pol, and a very personal one at that, and it's really awkward, and Trip feels bad. Let's get back to the other part of the episodes. We have an overly long scene of the crew doing a video interview for an elementary school.
Yeah, that just went the fuck on.
I liked the first minute of it because I was like, oh yeah, this is totally the kind of stuff that you see in elementary schools, and they do this shit in NASA. And then it just went on for days.
I was waiting for someone to attack them or something to just interrupt it.
Oh god, and poor Trip having to explain poop on the Enterprise. So Reed and Mayweather are down on the comet making a snowman. I mean, mining for icelium. That's what they're busy doing. It was all very cute. They were quite cute in this episode. Meanwhile, Archer decides, all right, I'll be the bigger man, but mostly do this as a way to like be a pretentious dick and have Vanek over for dinner. And literally everyone is really rude to each other all fucking dinner long until Archer makes a fool of himself and declares, Vanek, I accuse you of spying on us. And Vanek's like, that is not what is happening, dude. No. And even though T'Pol is like the Vulcan equivalent of pissed off at Trip for reading her letter, she goes to him for advice about the letter. And what we learn is that she has this arranged marriage coming up, and her fiancé is threatening to call it off if she doesn't come back to Vulcan and stays on Enterprise and all this thing. And Trip's response, as, you know, a normal person with human ways of thinking about things, is, well, what do you want? Which is a little bit, how do you feel? And like any Vulcan, T'Pol doesn't understand the question. So Trip storms out, you're the one who asked advice, and my advice is to eat pecan pie, it's delicious. And he leaves. And T'Pol's left to figure it out on her own. Down on Comet, things are going badly, and Reed and Mayweather have to get the shuttle pod stuck in a crevasse somehow, and that's a thing they do. And Archer refuses to admit that grappling hooks aren't as good as tractor beams, and he'd rather get his two guys killed than acquiesce to some snooty Vulcan who was offered assistance. But Trip and T'Pol convince him to be the bigger man and, save the fucking lives of his crew. So they do that. Vanek leaves and, is a jerk about it. Archer lets him leave and is a jerk about it. T'Pol decides to stay on the Enterprise. Fiancé be damned. Pecan pie all around, the end.
I can understand being a little leery of the Vulcans just because, a week ago we sort of blew up their spot, as the kids say. So, yeah,
I think,
What does that mean?
Put a spotlight on something they didn't want a spotlight put on, I think.
Oh, wow.
Um,
So you're using hip young kid speak, but you don't even know what it means.
I never do.
Oh.
Anywho, so I can understand being like, we kind of revealed that whole spy thing recently. They're maybe gonna try to kill me. So, I can kind of see them being extra leery at first.
They're not going to try to kill them. They're Vulcans.
Sabotage them? Sabotage?
Listen, that was mostly Cartwright.
Oh, God. I love that it's called Breaking the Ice.
Well, it works on so many levels.
No, it works on, oh shit, there's 10 minutes left of the episode and nothing has happened. Quick, let's have the shuttle almost get destroyed.
But for a reason that scientifically made sense,
Yeah,
because
nice.
it was that part of the comet was going to be revealed to the sun.
Yeah. Nothing happened. For all that nothing has happened in a lot of these episodes, nothing has happened the most in this one.
T'Pol learned that she wanted to stay on the Enterprise.
Yep, and that was about 5 minutes of a 50-minute episode.
Yep.
She didn't figure it out on her own either. She had to ask Trip.
Oh, what did he do?
Well, yeah, but I feel like it has to happen organically.
Oh, fair enough.
So, like...
This is always awkward when Chris tries to force a joke.
Well, no. It's because I said something... Sorry, I didn't mean to stab you just then. I said something kind of funny while we were watching. I don't remember why exactly. It was like, T'Pol's like, oh, and I've decided to not go marry that guy. And, thanks, Trip, for the relationship advice. And, he's like, oh, no problem. I always fuck up people's relationships. Relation trips, I call them. I don't know. I just, it was funny at the time.
You had to be there, I guess.
Cut all this.
I'm sure I did.
Wow, Ames does not give a fuck today.
What?
I like that about her.
You didn't want to have to tell the story.
Well, it's because I couldn't, remember exactly. It's just... I always feel awkward when I try to make those jokes happen again. I'm just better off the cuff,
Yeah, agreed. That's fine. We can see if we find another moment of glory in this episode. Let's find it. It was nominated for an Emmy.
Nothing else happened in this episode.
In visual effects.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, okay.
It lost a broken bow.
That was great.
I did like the snowman. I thought that was very cute. I thought Mayweather was kind of cute in this episode.
They almost let Mayweather do something again.
And then they injured him instead.
Unlike the
Mayweather.
world's shortest drop, too. Unlike a very small comet, which means the gravity's probably also low to boot. Also, God, visual...
You okay, Chris?
No. The comet set could not have looked more like styrofoam if they tried, I think.
That's probably why
guys,
they
you
didn't
have
win.
decades of experience making styrofoam look like other things. How did you fuck this one up so badly?
Yeah, it's true.
It was really unconvincing, even for a Star Trek set, and that's saying something. I did like the snowman. And Archer can get fucked for not letting them have their fun.
Yeah, I mean, what were they supposed to be doing while the drill was drilling? Like, there's nothing to really be doing.
Who cares if the Vulcans see them make a snowman?
Yeah, we're also worried that the Vulcans are going to judge us for things that just turns out to be us judging the Vulcans.
Yeah. Maybe we're wrong. We said it 5 minutes ago. Vulcans are the worst. But let them be the worst on their own.
The whole dinner scene was like agonizing to watch. I think that was the point. The point was it to be like, oh God, this is so awkward. Archer should not have done this.
He should not have.
Which dinner scene?
When they had dinner with the Vulcan captain.
Oh, yeah.
Which, honestly, I would say the Star Trek VI dinner scene was less uncomfortable.
Right. Look who's coming to dinner.
Oh, that was very uncomfortable, but that wasn't in the scene.
Yeah, I think so much of it is also Archer being a little bit tone deaf.
Deeply.
And thinking that, oh, if I'm talkative, the Vulcans will be talkative back to me. And not realizing, no, that's not how they do. That's not, like, if you got, like, certain people who don't like conversing a lot, who don't like small talk, and try to small talk with them, you're just making matters worse.
Yeah, he's used to the Vulcans that have worked on Earth and learned to force themselves to play the game. This is probably one of his first, proper Vulcans.
First proper Vulcan. How very amusing.
Do we ever learn anything about the fabled chef on the ship? Because we know that he made pecan pie, and then I went out that night after watching the show and had pecan pie.
No, he is one of those classic, always mentioned, never properly seen characters.
Like Vilix Pran.
I think we see his hand once. Maybe. Or Felix.
Yeah. like definitely a presence because we hear about him all the time, but we never know who he is.
Yep, just chef.
I also thought it was pretty clear that they actually got children to draw all the children's drawings that you see. Because many times when I see, like, in a show, like, whenever you have to look at a child's drawing, it's clearly an adult try to do it in the child's style, which is not at all how kids actually draw, because it's always a little too perfect in its imperfection. But these were clearly kids' things, and one of them I noticed, it was the one with the monster, the alien, I think, with the Vulcan.
Yeah.
There was a little kitty in the corner.
Oh, nice.
Meow.
And I was like, yep, that's definitely what a kid does. They will just add in random shit into the drawing.
Or that kid had seen Alien.
Oh, that's good. I don't think a little kid would see Alien.
It depends on how irresponsible their parents are.
Jake, when did you see Alien?
I don't know. It was probably a little older. It's probably like 10 at least.
A little older. 10.
Listen, compared to RoboCop,
Yeah,
I was an old man.
I do have one problem with the drawings. How did they get them?
They were emailed and then printed out.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, could be.
But it looked like they were supposed to be the originals.
Yeah, because Archer even asks which one do you want to put up in your quarters?
And they got like
one of each. It's like print out another one.
Thick paper, like they're their fastest ship.
That's a good question.
Maybe, okay, here's an idea. Maybe they were already on the ship and they just opened them now because they were doing that recording for the kids.
But they were supposed to come back to Earth first, and then they decided against it.
To avoid the kids, obviously.
Clearly.
I mean, we don't know exactly what course they've been taking. At some point, they may have doubled back for some supplies, and it was part of that drop. But at first, I still am just kind of like, wait a minute. Hold it. Excuse me. I doubt they had the Vulcans drop them off, because I don't think the Vulcans would be willing to deliver post.
Well, they delivered to Paul's email.
Email, yes. But this was like, a poster tube would have been involved.
You can beam those. Maybe it was just a relay of beaming the same cardboard tube over between different ships.
There we go.
That could be.
Yeah, I don't know. I was very nonplussed with this episode. I don't have much.
Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame because this is also the first one without Berman or Braga in the writing credits. This was actually Maria and Andre. Is it Jacqueteman? Jockmaton? Whoever the people who wrote for Mad Men and got awards for Mad Men stuff.
Wow.
Those people.
Well, it's good that they eventually found their stride with a different show.
See, I thought the conflict of T'Pol has to get married, so she has to decide what she wants, even though she doesn't know what she wants because what she wants is illogical. Like, you shouldn't have to think, Vulcans don't think, what do I want? They think, what is logical? And when Trip tells her, you should do what you want, and she just doesn't get it. She's like, but that what are these words you're saying, Trip? I don't get it.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like this would have been more effective if I gave a shit about that character. Because I feel like, for the most part, she's just been a dick the whole time.
Oh, true.
So, I just feel like this would have been a better episode for, further down the line, so you actually feel like, oh no, not our dear T'Pol, we love her so, what will the ship be without her? Instead it's good. Good fucking riddance, get married.
At this point, I feel like the only one that... It's not even that I care about Mayweather. It's that because the poor fuckers had nothing to do, he hasn't annoyed me yet.
Yeah, and the couple of things he has done are usually endearing things.
He's very cute. I like him a lot.
Like making a snowman, or sitting on the ceiling somewhere, or being uncomfortable about the butterfly tongue women. Like he seems realistic so far.
I also think he's 10,000 times more attractive than Trip.
I don't know. I like Connor Trenier enough, so I'm good with him. I also like that he decides to tell her that he knows about her personal thing.
Yeah,
because it's the right thing to do, and he is a very honest person. So
that whole mini story was solid.
I wish Hoshi did anything, but I'll be saying that all show long.
No, let's be fair. Sometimes she smiles at inappropriate times.
Does she?
I feel like, I don't remember if it was the first episode this week, where they're like, oh no, like, team has been taken captive and we're waiting to hear anything. And then she just, like, smilingly is, like, on the comms, like, oh, we're getting something.
Well, I think that was the wrong... It was, you know, it was supposed to be, like, a relief smile, and she fucked up.
I don't know if I think that's right. I think she was smiling before it even started happening. I don't know. I don't know about... I want to like her, and I want to like DePaul, but DePaul, like, really, like, I can't decide if she's just not a good actress.
Yeah, I think that's also a thing. Because you can't...
You know
with Vulcan acting, you can't tell.
Yeah. It's like, are you just... I don't know. Just not buying it.
Yeah, I do like the decision to have her, you know, choose the Enterprise over her fiancé kind of thing, because I think that makes for a more approachable character for hopefully future episodes. Question marks TBD, we'll see.
The only issue with that, though, is that, like, it's a foregone conclusion what her choice will be.
Fair.
And, like, yeah, this happens a lot in shows where there's a foregone conclusion, but you still find a way to make it...
Yeah, like, we're definitely going to save Mayweather and Reed out of the crevasse.
Yeah.
They're not going to die. It'll be fine.
Yeah, man. I know a few weeks ago when I was reading that quote, or no, you were reading the quote from Braga, I think, saying that, like, he feels like the theme song really didn't help with their initial reception. And it's like, buddy, we're 5 episodes deep. You could have had the greatest theme song in the fucking world, and it would not have changed what we've just watched.
We're 8 episodes deep.
Wow.
I know. There's still so little that has happened.
Yeah.
Hey,
I swear, I remember
Tran.
liking some parts of this show, eventually.
Well, we met Shran. That was good.
Yeah.
We like Shran.
Not yet. Eventually we'll like Shran.
I like him.
Well, we've met him at least.
He's Jeffrey Combs. It doesn't matter. I like him anyway.
Oh, back in the address to the classroom thing, when someone asks, do people date on the Enterprise, or do people date in space? And Archers gives this long, like, awkward, like, oh, that wouldn't be a good idea because of the close quarters, and, you know, where would you go? And a lot of people have to bunk up and all this thing. And I just imagined anyone around who was listening was just snickering because they've been doing it all along.
Oh, God, Mayweather has totally brought people to that fucking upside-down room to do it.
How would that work?
Very carefully.
And then Trip has to admit that he's totally wearing boots made of poop right now.
Poop
He says, I have to tell everyone about the poop boots, Captain. Do it, Trip. You tell them everything.
Cap'n.
You and the captain make it happen.
By it, we mean poop, which becomes shoes.
Poop shoes.
Poop shoes.
Poop on their shoes!
Ah, dang it, I stepped in shit. Well, just means you got more boot.
Oh my god.
I do hate their boots.
I haven't even noticed their boots. What do they look like?
I didn't until one of these episodes. They actually do a couple of close-ups where you can see them. They're normal shoes, but then have this weird padded element around the ankle, which just makes it look like goofy children's snow boots.
Oh man, I'll have to take a look next time they're on camera.
They're normally hidden by the trousers, but there was one point where, like, I think it's when Reed was pacing in the first episode. Because they're zoomed in on the feet, and because Mayweather's sitting, his trousers are just high enough that you can see the padding.
It's not trousers, it's a jumpsuit.
The pant cuffs, then. Whatever the term would be when it's a jumpsuit.
Pants. I like big pants, and I cannot lie.
Good. Here's a question. Did we not tell Vanek about the icelium in the comet?
No.
Because I feel like they kept nearly bringing it up when they're like, look at this comet. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to sit and watch. And every so often I wanted them to be like, you might find this interesting. And he's like, yeah, okay, the comet. We've seen comets before. They're not that interesting. But we're mostly here to send to Paul a message, but we're not going to tell you guys because it's awkward. And I feel like every so often they wanted to be like, hey, check out what we found on the comet. And he's like, not interested. It's full of icelium. And maybe he'd get interested, and they never do that. So I don't think anyone told him about the icelium.
Vulcans are bad at science. Like,
Explain.
I know we said this a few weeks ago. They don't seem to care about anything. Like, how are you people scientists? You don't seem to give a fuck about how anything functions. Or you're just like, we already know everything.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
what it is.
because
Never
someone
mind.
else already did it. Everything to them has already been discovered.
How arrogant.
It's like how every book has already been written. I did enjoy. So this was another one of those episodes on Memory Alpha that some sad nerd was just transcribing the
God.
call sheet stuff, and most of the
old
time it's just really stupid and so and so was called at 9 a.m. today, and that's the whole note. It's like I don't care, but the way this note was pretty good in that in the props necessary to category and the call sheet, the listing was a snowman with 2 different heads.
Right. So it was just the head.
Apparently they must have swapped in the head.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, they just added the ears, I guess.
I guess I would have thought they would have just stuck the ears on, actually. So yeah, that's surprising.
Or had a fully different snowman.
Or that, yeah. I'm trying to find the message you sent me about this.
Christ, what was it?
It was about one of the caterers.
Oh, right, yeah. It was a different caterer than the last time we saw caterers.
And so I know last
God.
time we checked. And I want to see, because I think that caterer was no longer in business, maybe?
No, they were. They definitely were.
Okay. I wanted to see if this one was. Jaywalks Catering.
Well, so this is how low we've sunk, as we're actually looking up the catering notes.
Yep.
Oh, wow. It has its own Memory Alpha entry.
Yay!
Wow. This is so interesting.
It's riveting.
I don't know what's sadder, the fact that someone put it on the entry for the episode, or the fact that someone made a whole entry for the caterer, and the whole entry is just the fact that they were the caterer for this one episode.
I'll stop
Yeah.
you. The only thing sadder is that we're still talking about it.
That's also true.
Well, yeah, that is obvious, but
I don't know. If I got my hand on some call sheets, I would definitely transcribe them into Memory Alpha.
well, I was about to say it looks like they're still open, but this jaywalk is in Illinois and opened in 2009. So,
Huh.
specify Los Angeles.
My God, how is this conversation still happening? How is this still happening? Please, let's do the blogtivity.
We're waiting for Chris to Google a caterer from
God
20
damn
years
it.
ago.
Man, Scotty, what a character, huh?
I'm amazed no one stopped me sooner. I was kind of waiting for it.
All right, well, Jake has stopped you. Jake, lead us off.
What? With what? Oh, about Scotty?
You start us off, because I'm done talking for a minute.
Okay.
You do it.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just introduce the blogtivity myself.
Do it.
As you all know, if you've been listening to our show, we've been talking about some of our favorite TOS characters. I mean, all of the TOS characters, not necessarily our favorites, but all of them. We like them all. They're all pretty good guys. And gals. Gals, let's not forget gals. Gal. I don't know. We might cover our top 3 and bottom 3 Janice Rand moments.
Oh, I do have Chapel
They're
on the
all
docket.
from Charlie X, all 6.
Neat. Well, we'll talk Chapel at some point. It might
true.
just be like two
Chapel's
things.
got more shit going on.
She brings some Plomeek soup that time.
That's true. Anywho, but
next-
anyway, this
next
week,
time.
so last couple of weeks, last week we talked about Bones. Week before that, we talked about Spock. And we had talked about Kirk way back when during the pilot. But today, we're going to be talking about the greatest engineer in all of Starfleet, Scotty.
Yay.
Montgomery Scotty.
I'm fucking sorry. You mean Argyle.
Oh,
he does mean Argyle.
I mean, the best engineer of the 23rd century.
Okay.
Argyle was just a baby at this time.
How old is Argyle? Jesus Christ.
Oh, he's ageless.
He might have just been a glint in his pappy's eyes at that point.
Argyle's secretly an Elorian.
Okay, so I guess I'll start
I
it
buy
off
that, actually.
with the with my top Scotty moments, and
Yes.
I'll have an
Honorable
mention, but I'll save it till the end just in case nobody comes up with it. So I think to start us off, I'm going to give what I just think is a beautiful moment. It's kind of a sad moment, but also beautiful and well done by James Doohan. And I'll just quote it as opposed to describing it. No bloody A, B, C, or D. I'm, of course, referring to the moment when Scotty wants to reminisce about the old Enterprise when he's
that is sweet.
on the D. So he goes to the holodeck. And it's a good moment.
It is.
I say my next favorite moment of Scotty's is I'm always interested in interesting problem solving techniques by our heroes, and I have to say no one could have done this as well as Scotty did, and I mean, of course, drinking the Kelvin under the table.
Perfect. I'm glad someone brought it up, because that's great.
It's green. Which he also uses that line, I think, in the...
He
or
does.
actually, no, Data uses that line.
Data
Oh, yeah,
does,
yeah.
and I think it's out of character.
Yeah, but it's a joke for Scotty.
Yeah, but Scotty should have made the joke, is what I'm saying.
And
Well,
it
yes.
belonged in lower decks. Come on now.
And even though these are in no particular order, this one's definitely the top. When he sabotages the fucking Excelsior by taking some bolts or something out, we don't know. He hands them to McCoy. But yeah, because what a badass move right there.
Right?
Just taking down Starfleet's brand new flagship. Captain Fancy Baton is gonna be pissed.
Because, yeah, we see him get pissed.
So yeah, those are my tops. Who's next?
Me.
Good.
Nice. Do it.
Favorite Scotty moments. Obviously, I know this is an easy one, and I don't care. I love when he's trying to talk to a computer in the 1980s. By
Yay!
talking into the mouse. I know it's obvious. I don't care at all.
I love that moment, too.
This is more of like a James Doohan moment, but which film is it where his like nephew passes with the
Breathcon.
second movie? James Doohan like acts his balls off in that scene, and it's really beautiful and sad. Which I kind of thought was
the scene in Medbay?
when his nephew like dies in his arms or whatever,
Yeah.
Con. I just thought he acted the hell out of it. It's not like a nice happy moment, but it's a beautiful James Doohan moment. And the best thing that Scotty ever did was save that girl that was suicidal by making her come to all of those cons. That's my serious joke answer.
I don't know if I'm going to put that in the blog, because that wasn't a Scotty moment, but
Yeah, huh?
it was a James Doohan moment.
Oh, come on. All right. The fact that he didn't actually kill all those sex workers in Wolf in the Fold, despite all the evidence suggesting that he had.
He still got away with one there.
Oh my god. Yeah, and backtracking, it is very, very lovely that James Doohan was good to his fan like that. I agree that is a great Doohan moment, Caitlin.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Do you have other good moments, Chris?
I'm gonna go with the time he flung himself headlong at Apollo and Who Mourns for Adonis.
Really?
There's something so charming about how stupid that move was.
Jesus Christ.
He was like, I can't possibly beat you, but I'm gonna try. And that's, can't help but be like, well, you sure did, buddy.
Yikes. All for the
telling
wrong
Robert-
reasons, too.
Telling Robert Fox to go fuck himself in A Taste of Armageddon.
Yes, I have that one, too. That's a good one. Because he figured out that Anon 7 was impersonating Kirk.
Yeah. He told that guy to go fuck himself, the pompous windbag.
I don't remember this.
He was just this overbearing diplomat who tried to take over the ship, and Scotty was like, nah.
Good job, Scotty.
Except with the other hand, because he was missing that finger.
Nah. Do you have any more?
Fuck, I had a third one. What the hell was it? The face he makes at Kirk in the shuttle pod in Star Trek The Motion Picture.
Yikes.
That's another Doohan moment, Chris.
I know, I don't mean it.
All right,
It is
while you're-
amazing, though.
While you're still thinking of your third, I'll say a couple that I think are good. First of all, just because it's one of few redeeming moments from the animated series when he makes friends with that slug monster in The Eye of the Beholder and saves the day out of fucking nowhere.
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it.
They definitely did, and we made lots of jokes about how the series should just become like adventures of the two of them having a good time forever and ever.
Well, I mean,
sounds familiar.
Doohan was doing all the fucking voices anyways. Might as well have just made it his series. Poor bugger.
Let's see. Here's what other ones do I want? Because I have a lot of honorable mentions on my list. Let's see. Let's go with in Bread and Circuses, Kirk is down on planet and tells Scotty not to interfere. And the line that Scott gives later in the episode is, "They're in trouble and I'm under orders not to interfere. However, no order can stop me from frightening them." And then out of fucking nowhere, he causes a blackout on planet for no reason. And it's what actually Kirk and crew used to get out of whatever predicament they were in. So it just happens to be useful when it really shouldn't have been.
Ah, yes. General Order 23. Planet-wide blackout.
Yeah, just be a dick for no fucking reason. God, there's a lot of good moments we haven't brought up yet. Which other one do I want? Let's go.
Oh, I have another good one too, but after you're done, Ames.
Yeah. Okay. Is it... I lost it on my list. Where did it fucking go? Playing the bagpipes in Twok.
No.
Just
But that
because...
is great.
And that is also a Doohan moment, but it's also a Scotty moment, because I know Doohan was the one who made the decision to do that.
Oh, wow. I'm glad everybody else's doing moments are perfectly acceptable. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care.
Oh, here we go. 6. You know how the man knows his ship inside and out? He's able to realize that something is hidden in a vent because the AC feels wrong.
When was this from?
Star Trek 6.
I don't remember
when he
this.
finds the uniforms.
He's
hidden.
literally like sitting in the dining room poring over blueprints, and he's like, something doesn't feel right in here. And he like puts his hand by the vent. He's like, what the like that is a man in tune with his ship.
Mm-hmm. I am a little surprised no one has brought up defending the Enterprise and the trouble with Tribbles yet.
That was what my new one was going to be. That's what I was going to add, was that he starts a fight. Not because of Kirk,
Yes.
who, as we know, is a jerk,
Uh-huh.
but because of the ship.
I also just wrote down anytime Scott is wearing a kilt.
Yep, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I have to. So I guess my honorable mention. It's kind of already been said. I think Chris said it because it's from A Taste of Armageddon. It's basically, but since it's an honorable mention, I'll just extend it to any time Scotty is commanding the ship.
Yeah.
He's just no fucking bullshit.
Unless
Yeah,
there is bullshit. There is sometimes bullshit, and you'll see on my bottoms list when that happened.
But like he was totally ready to do General Order 24 on those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
He would have done it.
He would have, and he probably should have.
He's always hyper competent. Like,
Yeah, he's
It's
just
a-
like go for it, Chris.
it's really weird. It's like, this guy went in the wrong like, he probably would have done great in the command
Yeah, he
track.
should have
He
been
just
on the
clearly
command
cares
track.
about building shit more.
Yeah, he likes to read his technical journals.
Yeah.
Just another great Scott moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Great
does. He is a
Scott.
captain eventually, so, but not the rank of captain, but not
Yeah.
a ship captain.
You can be a captain without captaining a ship.
In
Yeah,
Starfleet, at least.
it's a
Well-
rank. You can be even in the Navy, I think so.
Doesn't Ben Sisko get made a captain before he's technically captaining a ship?
No, he gets made a captain after he has the Defiant.
Oh.
So the thing, I know in the
Damn.
Navy, you can have the title of captain without having the rank of captain.
Yeah, well, it's like it's a naval tradition that anyone who is commanding a ship is referred to
Yeah.
as captain.
But Scotty does actually hold the rank of captain at some point.
Yeah, and like the way the ranks map to like ranks in the army, for example, like captain is very high. I think it's like equivalent to a colonel.
Yeah, captain in the army's low as hell.
Yeah, captain in the army is like very low. It's like it's like above lieutenant.
But yeah, like, I don't think Spock is ever, like, once he's captain of the Enterprise in 2, I think his official rank is still captain even after Kirk is back and he's
Yeah,
XO
because
again.
again, it's just a rank. He wouldn't be demoted just because he's not actively commanding the ship.
Unlike the motion picture, where for some reason they insisted Deckard had to pretend to be a commander.
Yeah, that's strange. That's a good point. That is strange.
I wonder if Decker actually was the rank of captain.
Yeah,
Ever.
they mentioned that it would be a temporary field demotion to commander,
No.
specifically. Just to make Deckard's day worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
Fuck you, Decker.
Here are my
No problem.
additional honorable mentions. He installs a Romulan cloaking device on the Enterprise without having any idea how the fuck to hook it up.
That's true.
Yeah, but did anybody die? Did it work? Come on.
Yeah, it did. That's
It
just
did work. They got away.
Well, then that's...
It had no right
I'm
to
sorry,
work.
this is an honorable mention, not a bad one. Sorry, I thought we'd moved on to bad. And...
no,
No,
yeah,
no,
these
no.
are
But wait
these
a
are my
second.
honorable mention good ones.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Two more. One that also is good because I recently re-listened to some of our episodes from TOS, and we were giving him lots of credit in the Doomsday Machine for literally fixing a ship while it is on fire behind him.
That sounds
I forgot
right.
about that.
And that was just a very Scotty moment. And the last one is just a little tiny moment and it's very strange. And that's in The Final Frontier, after Cybok has come and done his weird, not brainwashing, freeing your mind thing that Cybok does. And Uhura is coming on to Scott like, whoa, and Scott says, I don't think I could take it in my condition or yours, and I give him credit for not taking advantage of any of the situation.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So good on him.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
He's
Just
a good man.
all around. Here's some times when he wasn't so
man.
great.
Hooray!
So we were just talking about how great he knows his ship.
Oh, boy.
And there's a moment in Star Trek V
Mm-hmm.
when he's even talking about how well he knows his ship.
Yep.
He walks through a door and knocks himself out on a beam that's just there. He just hits the beam with his head out cold. Not a great look, Scotty. Not a great look.
Yeah, that was just one of those, we have to have a comedy moment, so here it is. Little forced.
Yeah. This is, I mean, I just think this is kind of a dick move by Scotty. Beaming all of the tribbles onto the Klingon ship. Where
I
they
had
don't
that
tribble
too.
at all.
Yeah, because they're going to kill all those tribbles, right?
Absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
or beam them
Those
into
tribbles are
space.
dead.
He just sentenced all those tribbles to death.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to take one of the top moments that was mentioned and be a Debbie Downer about it and say, giving the recipe for transparent aluminum to the guy in 1986.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, I was thinking that was kind of a faux pas myself.
No, see, Hello Computer is amazing.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Breaking
but-
the temporal prime directive, Scott, no.
I mean, this isn't like going back and like stepping on a butterfly, breaking the prime directive. This is like literally giving in super advanced technology to very primitive people hundreds of years before they're supposed to have it.
It's giving a handheld tractor beam to a primitive butterfly collector.
Okay, but is that better or worse than giving someone kidney regrowing drugs? Because, I mean, I feel like they must be able to tell, like, they'll take a blood sample, they'll know what's in her system, they'll be able to work out how that kidney was replaced.
It's one person, though, whilst the transparent aluminum affects a whole society.
Will benefit everyone.
And frankly, I was
exactly.
gonna put the giving a woman a pill to regrow her kidney on my naughty McCoy list anyway. So
Oh, well.
Yeah, I'm the one that put it on the good list. So.
no, both you and Jake did.
Yeah, I had it on my good list too. And I'm gonna, even though we do the honorable dishonorable mention at the end, I'm gonna mention mine now just because it's another instance where it's somebody else's good moment. That's one of my bad moments. And that's just like the way Scotty was acting with Apollo and the girl and the fucking stupid jealousy and the whole reason he fought
jealousy
Apollo.
was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
I
was
have-
just dumb.
I have Who Mourns for Adonais on my worst moments twice. Because
Nice.
there's the thinking he can get into, is it Palomas?
Palamas, yeah.
Palamas? Thinking
like
he
that.
can get in her pants when she has clearly already said that she isn't interested. Scott, stop it. Bad Scott. And then thinking he can take on Apollo when he very clearly can't, and he's only doing it to get in Palamas' pants. Bad Scott! Bad!
And she wants to be with Apollo. Like, she's made this clear.
Exactly.
Which is a terrible idea.
Oh, terrible idea, for sure. But still, respect women's choices,
Even when they're bad.
even when they're bad.
Especially when they're bad.
You have a third, Ames?
Well, I'm gonna condense those into one so that I can have two other ones. Because, let's see, these other good ones. Good God. On an episode called Metamorphosis, which is the one where we meet Zephyrin Copgrin on a planet and leave a woman there with him.
Job from a cloud, right?
Yeah, that's the one. But it's okay, because it's a lady cloud. Weird.
No homo.
Scott is in
Apparently.
charge of the ship, and he decides, well, we lost the captain and whoever else was on this shuttle prod. We know they went in this direction, so we're going to search every single possible planet. And that is not engineer talk, Scott. That is not how an engineer solves a problem. That's how I solve a problem.
It's how a man who wants to put someone else in charge so he can go day drink solves a problem.
Right. And my other one, that was also when Scott is in charge and fucks something up, is in Friday's Child, when everyone's down on planet watching the woman give birth and slapping her around a little. Scott's up on Enterprise, and the Klingons come in, and they basically prank phone call him and say, hey, we're totally in distress over here. Giggle, giggle, giggle. Don't come save us or anything. He, they definitely won't do it. And then Scott vanishes off into wherever the fuck Scott goes because he fell for the Klingons' ruse like twice or 3 times. Idiot.
No, Scotty.
I don't have any bad moments. Mr. Scott is nothing but perfection. Except when he kept killing all those women. Oh, wait.
So I'm also going to say the headbang, because that was the first thing I thought of when I was like, what has Scotty done that was dumb? Oh, that in Star Trek V.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb. It's not even a good joke.
No, it's terrible. We talked about this a little last week. Getting a case of misogyny.
Yes. Yep. That's the thing in Wolf in the Fold that's just fucking stupid.
So dumb.
Like, the killing all the women, I could, like, sure, why not? That's funny. But
Sounds like Ames has got a little case of the misogyny.
yeah, you're gonna have to bring me to a brothel, evidently.
All right.
Ugh, you can
That could
do
be
that. I
fun.
don't want to go to a brothel.
Yeah, I have no interest in going to a brothel.
I mean, I have interest, but no need. You know?
Yeah, because a woman in the workplace, like, I think it was like she bumped his head and he got a concussion or something. And it's like, oh no! Now that a woman has done something wrong, he will hate all women. McCoy, what the fuck is wrong with you?
60s logic. Yeah, that's really all I got.
Was it just the 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, there aren't, because there's not a lot of bad moments for Scott. I'm going to throw a dishonorable mention on the list, because a lot of people give him flack for this. I give him flack for this. I know you guys might defend him, and feel free. Bringing his dying nephew to the bridge instead of Medbay in The Wrath of Khan. Idiot!
Yeah, it's dumb, but I assume shock.
No, I can't assume shock, because that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, he should be trained to deal with stuff like this.
He's
Yeah,
the chief engineer.
Oh, it's his family. It's his sister's only boy.
Yeah, when someone is dying, why? Like, it shouldn't even cross your brain to go to the opposite side of the ship with him.
Well, maybe he knew McCoy was on the bridge, and so...
McCoy was not on the bridge.
Shh. He knew McCoy was on the bridge. I got nothing.
No, it was because he just wanted to rub in Kirk's face that something went wrong, and that's... if he'd gone to Medbay
Wait, is that
faster...
Scotty or Doohan?
Yes.
Fair enough.
If he'd gone directly to Medbay, Preston may have been saved.
Let's go with no, though.
No what?
That he wouldn't have been
He would have
saved.
died anyway.
Oh, that Preston would have died? Possibly, yeah.
He
He
got
did.
so many deep radiation burns.
And one
Very
last
sad.
little one, just because I think this is real dumb. And it's mostly the acting, but it also just looks real stupid. In Spock's brain, to create a distraction, he pretends to faint, and it just looks stupid. He's like, oh! And the women are like, oh, what's happening? And then Kirk steps in front of them, and he's like, I'm Kirk. And that's it. I've used this half a second distraction to walk over here.
I feel like that episode is just a dishonorable mention for any character that was in it.
Except McCoy,
Actually,
who hooks up a brain.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, Faith in Bagora. Except that's an Irish stereotype thing, not Scottish. Fuck.
Bagpipes and not cloud collage. What word am I looking for?
Haggis?
Haggis.
Oh, boy, oh boy. Oh, here we go. I don't know if this counts. Dishonorable mention, that fucking accent doing.
I don't know. It's better than Chekhov's Russian.
That's
True.
Wessels. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, dearie dear. Well, I feel like that's a fine place to end it.
Hooray.
So yes, thank you for joining us on episode 320.
Woohoo.
As always, you can find us on Facebook and, as of right now, Twitter. Again, we'll see if they actually start charging, at which point we are fucking gonzo. Tumblr, where we will have our Scotty discussion. You can see our past discussions and all sorts of past things. 99% courtesy of Ames. You know, keep listening on your favorite soundtrack, not soundtrack,
Soundtrack.
podcast device. That's the word. And, join us next week as we desperately wait for Enterprise to find its stride with Civilization and Fortunate Son.
Please, Enterprise, give us something to look forward to.
Until then, this has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
And this is always Jake.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Nah.
I don't actually know the song. I've never seen the movie. Someone else sing the song.
What
I
song?
wanna build a snowman.
It's from Frozen.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the.
I don't know what you're doing to do, Jake.
That's from The Snowman, I think, right?
Yeah, it's from the Snowman.
But anyway, we should not sing any more of the song than that, because Disney's lawyers will find and obliterate us from orbit.
Listen, if TikTok exists, we can sing part of a song.
Yeah, but I feel like I think you get like 30 seconds, and like I say we just...
Nate, bye.
I don't know what song that is.
Let's clap it out.
Sounds like the Muppets theme.
Was it Doug? Was that Doug, Jake?
That was Seinfeld.
Oh, that was Seinfeld.
Oh.
How does Doug go?
That's how the Doug theme goes.
Thank you. Let's talk about these episodes. Here we go.
Oh yeah, who's introducing this mess?
This bitch.
Woo!
Yeah, I got a thing written up so I can be very angry at things.
Good girl. Nice.
As I do, as I am wont to do.
Mm-hmm.